Hello everyone, welcome back. Day 3 for our AACT training. Thank you for being here. Let's get started with our session. So first of all, team, some questions that I don't know why they seem too basic. While I'm patient to answer them, I have no issues with it. Just the fact that this is the main difference between spoon feeding and self-awareness. All right. So you need to find out how you can help yourself most of the time. Okay. So this is your main page, team, where all the videos will be placed. So if you scroll down, you'll see the link to day 1 and the link to day 2 out here. The link to the other pages will continue to come up as and when the sessions happen. While you're watching the video and you continue to have questions, please put them out here. So we'll go about trying to answer them from here. Okay. So there are a lot of questions that have already come here. So after today's session, I'll answer the day 2 questions. If you still have questions from the day 2, you should go and start putting your questions there. That way I can easily answer. All right. Next thing is, these are the different topics we should try to accomplish to cover today, team. Because if you look at our schedule and the way we're going right now, it's a little slow. Though we planned for a 7-hour training, it could very well be that it'll be a 9-hour. But if you look at it, we have 1.5 hour session into 7, right? So we've got a total about 10.5 hours program. So we should be able to catch up easily with that. All right. We covered a few of these yesterday, and we also spoke a little bit about test cases in a very simple manner. Today, we're going to look at Agile Waterfall models, and then we'll try and understand the defects till this ERA. Okay. Okay, let's go to. So before I tell you the difference between Agile and Waterfall models of SDLC, you need to understand a very simple thing. The application development life cycle, what really happens, which I told earlier, it'll start with the requirements and then it'll go into more of a documentation where you create your functional requirement specifications, then your technical design document, then your actual development or coding effort, or what we also call as build. All right. Then comes testing, and then comes the deployment. Deployment is taking it live, right? Team, anyone having issues with my audio? Audio for anyone, please check your end. All right, just a point for those who are unable to hear, team. So let's look at this from a very diagrammatic perspective, team. How does it work out? What does really happen? Now let us consider that a new application is being built. So there's nothing, it's total empty. Okay, like an empty box. Slowly functionality is being put here. Okay, one after the other, different types of functionalities will come here. What do I mean by that? These are the features of the application, each box representing one functionality and so on. So over a period of time, the applications get built. So each change that we do, we go about saying this is version 1. Okay, we start with that. And then we go to version 2. And then V3. And it continues to evolve like that. Different versions come up. What does it mean? From version 1 to version 2, all that the user will do is, let me take a different pen for this, add some new functionality over what is already there, delete some old functionality, make some changes also in it. Okay, so this whole application is there, and slowly there are new things getting added, old things getting deleted, and some changes also can happen to the old functionality. And that is very critical for you to understand, team. This is done in a stage by stage manner. Okay, so the users develop it, test it, deploy it, and they repeat that cycle over and over again. from one version to the other. Okay, and each version there is some changes. Sometimes there are big changes that happen. Sometimes there are very small changes that happen. Okay, so depending on the amount of changes, the time gap between these versions change. So this could be, let's say, 2 months. Okay, this could be 5 months. All right, let's take an example. The simplest example is WhatsApp. Can you tell me, remember, what did WhatsApp start with initially? What was there only as core features? What are the features that WhatsApp had when at the very beginning? I'm talking about maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago. Just chat. You can add friends, right? Invite them, something like that. And that's it. So this became like version 1. Correct. And then what happened, team? Then came a few more features like what? The arrows. What was that tick? General read, unread messages, right? Then they added group into it. Then they added broadcasting into it. I may not be correct with the exact direction in which it went. There could be up and down, but you understand how they moved, right? From one version to the other. When it comes to version 3 now, for example, they would have added call into it. They would have put some blue ticks and single, double, gray ticks. Anyone from this audience who does not use WhatsApp? I'm sure with this large distribution of people, I will get at least a few answers. Me, you're missing a great thing. I am video calls. Oh, okay, sorry, there you go. Video calls also come up now. Maybe that's version 4, I'll say. Right? Will it stop here, team? No, right? It will continue to go on. They'll continue to add features. Who will be giving them that these are the features that the market needs? So this company, WhatsApp, continues to listen to the market, the users, the friends, yes. And the list is endless, like emoji is another feature and so on. Okay. And the more users use it, they tend to give feedback. And they will keep on driving what will be the additional features that we expect. Why? Because they have to serve the customers on a constant basis. If they stop innovating and providing the features for this, they think that, hey, you know what, as of today, WhatsApp is brilliant, this is the best, we cannot do any more. What will happen? Competition will take over. Okay, and that is the reason these applications and providers keep going. Now, when we talk about big projects, not IT, in general, big projects, there is a specific way to do it. Can I build a building? When I start building a building, team, your home, for example, how long will it take? Maybe 6 months, correct? Let's say you want to build a bridge, maybe 2 years, all right, maybe 1 year. It's just a bridge. Let's say you want to build, what's that, metro kind of a thing. How long would that take? Maybe 4 years, because it's a long city-wide project. So while you're building this, can anyone start living in the home before the 6 months? Can we start using the bridge before the 1 year, before the completion? Can we start using the metro and put a train there without all the tracks in place? We cannot. They have to start, finish, and then usage will happen. Okay? And this is called as waterfall methodology. Like one huge waterfall. Let's take a look at how a waterfall looks. The intent is not about understanding the technical concept so much. Rather, you'll need to understand the concept. why is it there? Why is it called waterfall? The entire water comes from there flowing and falls down at one time. That's waterfall team. More like this picture. It's a big splash. It announces itself that I am here. So when they launch a building, when you go to your new home, bridge, metro, and so on, it's a huge event. When it comes to the other one, and what are the challenges with waterfall? Let's quickly understand. One, big project, long time, lot of planning goes into it. Okay, testing is critical, cost of failure is very high. Now let's say that, again, I'm not from the construction side, but the metro is built, it's ready for launch. 1 month before it, they realize that one of the links in the bridge, in the track, is not really functioning to that level. Now what will happen, team? Can they fix it in 2 days? It will take at least another couple of months. So the projects can get delayed. Delays can happen and can be long. Even for your home, for example, you don't get the right product that you're looking, like flooring or so. Let's say you're trying to ship it from out of town, out of country, and the ship starts from there, but then it's delayed or whatever. It's going to impact. But then at least you are able to plan and foresee that this is how it's coming up. There is no other option for them. The alternate that the current IT world is calling is the Agile methodology. Okay. Methodology, is this correct spelling? Yeah, triple O's in it. In this, what they do is break the whole project into smaller manageable pieces. They will not try and do everything in one go. Okay, do a quick sprint. That's what we call. It's like a relay race, a quick sprint. It's like 100 meters race. Waterfall methodology is like your marathon. These are more like your 100, 200, 400 meters kind of races. But you tend to do more of it. So quickly develop, quickly test, quickly deploy. Repeat multiple times. As short as 1 to 2 week cycle also. Alright. So you will tend to see that a lot of applications start doing small changes. And instead of saying version 1 to version 2 to version N, we say version 1.1 is there. And then version 1.2 comes up and so on. So this is a major release. When we launch an application, it becomes a product or it goes live, right? We call that as releasing it. It's like you build a ship and then you launch it into the water, you're releasing it, right? This is like a major release. So lot of time. This is like a minor release, and this may be just a 2 week cycle. This is a minor release, all right? So instead of focusing too much on trying to develop a huge application which can take us a year or so to develop, let's start doing one after the other. Let's not worry in investing everything. This also gives us a good chance to step back. All right. Oops out here is not that expensive. What do I mean by oops in here, team? What is oops, team? Oops. All right. The reason I asked is, if you take the conversation, you understand that it is not object-oriented programming system. It is a oops moment of life where something went wrong. Oops is a Hindi movie. I don't know that. It's a sudden moment, realization that oops, something went wrong. Like you started all the way to work and you realize that you forgot your laptop at home. And then oops, I have to go back and I'm going to be late. So it's not that expensive means going back from this version to this version, backtracking is not that big an issue. I just lose 2 weeks of effort. But if I have to roll back from version 2 to version 1, I lose a lot of effort. Is that clear, everyone? That is from a concept perspective. Now, as we go about, you'll start realizing that Agile tends to be more interactive. You'll see all the stakeholders working together. All right. And they meet often. In this case, stakeholders do not meet often. Who are the stakeholders, team? What are stakeholders in a project? Who are they? Users, developers, BA, QA, the entire team, business owner, all right, the management of the company, vendors who are involved in it, they all have some stake in it. Either you put your sweat, your hard work, or someone is putting the cash or money. And this is very important. This whole bunch of people who are responsible for doing the rollout and what's coming becomes the stakeholders. Users will come towards the very end and at the beginning, because the requirements start from users and it will end with the users. All right. So this is the theory. And the reason I don't go into theory too much is so that it will help us to conceptualize. Now when we go into the next things, you'll understand what we do. But did you get the fair idea about Agile and Waterfall models? Whenever you have a question, think about building a bridge versus building an application. Think about building a home or a metro or a huge thing versus doing something small. That's the layman's way of looking at it. It's quicker, easier, and so on. Overall, let's say version 1 to version 2, here it took 6 months and cost $1 million. All right. The same thing if I do it this way, version 1 to version 2. How long will it take, team? Wow. I don't think we got version 1 to version 2. I'm saying the same, not, okay. This scope of version 1 is same as this scope. This is same as this one. Just the way we are doing it is different. It's like, are we taking a very packed freeway or we chose to go surface, take signals by signals? How long will it take? Wow, not a single right answer. Not a single one. It may take 8 months, team. And it may cost $1.1 million. Do you realize that? It's going to be longer. Why? Very simple. How quickly is the water falling here? Fast, right? It's coming. Done. But it's a big one. It makes a splash. How about if I say cascade, waterfall, images? You know what's a cascade? It slowly drills down. It takes longer for this to come down, right? Yes. And it doesn't go with all splash. Then why do we go for Agile if it is going to be longer and a little bit more expensive? Because an error here can cost 1 more month and another $200,000. An error here, since it can be quickly backtracked and fixed, here will cost 2 weeks and another 20K. Simple. So keeping it, doing it continuously like that. If there are too many errors happening, slowly this will easily end up from 6 months to 1 year and cost now $2.5 million. Where on earth did anyone finish a construction or a building or any kind of a development project, a huge infrastructure thing, on time and within the budget? It always exceeds the budget. It always goes. So let's say you plan to build a home and it's going to cost you $500,000. Okay, that's the estimate. By the time you finish it, it's going to be longer and it's going to take more time. Okay, this is very important concept you understand, and that talks about what is Agile and Waterfall. Now, creating test plan, test cases, use cases, test data. Why do I need this? But before I do anything, team, there should always be an application under test. This is called as AUT. You can also call this a system under test. SUT. Any application while being developed is also being tested. So in a typical cycle, like I said, it starts with the requirements, then we plan it, then we develop it, then it is ready for testing, and then it is ready for deployment. And if any changes, or I can call it as release, if any changes happen, then sometimes it's going back and forth. And some major changes, it will go back all the way to planning, and again it has to come. Now requirements change, again it has to affect the planning, the development, the testing. So this, let's say it's a 2 months project. This will take 1 week. This will take 1 week. This will take 5 weeks. So 2 months is 10 weeks, let's say. This will take 1 week. How many did we finish? We finished 8 weeks. So testing is only 2 weeks. Challenge, right? The activity that we're doing is only 2 weeks. And what are these people gonna do at this time? Are they gonna sit idle? And what are the developers gonna do in this space and this space? So there's a QA, there's a BA, there's a developer, there's deployment engineers, there's database architects. All of them are there. What do they do? So what they do is they do overlap sprints. One is they go about doing this actively, but while the development is going on, again the requirements are starting here, and then they go into plan, then they go to design, and so on. And one more, as soon as one is ready, they go on to the other. So there's a lot of parallel activities that happen, but as a developer or a QA or so on, we only do one at a time. Once we finish one, we go to the next. So how do we optimize this operations? Because end of the day, all that is important is the dollar team. End of the day, it is the business sense. But what about users? Should they not be happy? Absolutely. Only if the users are happy will you get money. If the users are not happy, dollar is gone down. So you start saying that users have to be happy. So your application under test is very important to understand, and the fact that changes will come. So I'm going to show you an application which is under my control and which also tells what changes are going to come. What is interacting and what are we doing on it? I'll give you a very quick demo. It should be extremely easy to understand. One of my methods or approaches in life is to go in a very sprint manner and keep it absolutely simple. All right. So the concept is very simple. The pain started. Trainer wants to communicate to trainees. And for the next 5-6 sessions, team, we're going to focus on this application because I know well about this and I can talk, and you'll also have control to the dev test versions. So you can actually going to be testing. You won't believe today when I was having this session with my NEOT core team and the remote QA team, about 20 of us, about 1.5 hours in the morning, how much I wish that each of you could see what we were doing and how we're doing. You're going to get there, team, slowly, maybe in 2-3 weeks and so on. But once you do that, you will see how much involved they are in the direction in which they're going. So they are working very hard in creating the documentation and all this stuff. Okay. So this page talks about the beta version and the apps that are available both in our App Store and the Google Play. So there are three sections to it mainly, very simple. An training institute or an admin from that institute does a setup in 5 minutes. Once they register, all they do is they go about setting up. So out here, if I'm a new institute, I click here and I register as a new institute. Once I register, I will get a confirmation over the email, and then you can create your password and you can start working. Can everyone hear me, team? Yes. So audio is perfect. Sorry. Alright, so once they get the registration back, you can log in as a institute. So there are 4 user roles, team. This application cannot be explained in 10 minutes. What I'm explaining is 10 minutes for the scope of overall functionality. Then each detailed functionality will take a couple of hours for you to understand. And that will be very easy once we start with the right direction. So what does an institute admin do? First thing, it's a training organization like ITLearn. So we have multiple courses. We will go about adding one course after the other. Course name, put an icon. That's it, as simple. Then we add trainers. Who are the different trainers? We add the names of the trainers, username, first name, last name, email. If they have a profile picture, we select it. And we link them to the courses. Like Karthik does AACT, Selenium, AACD. Manoj does manual testing, HPUFT, and web service testing. Mahesh is doing more of ISTQB and some more areas there. So on. And Priya is doing communication skills. So we do that. So first add courses, then add trainers, link them to the courses. Then what happens, team? We add the trainees, students. We have to add them one by one. One after the other, one after the other, and so on. So if I have 100 trainees, I have to do it like that. Consistently, continuously. That's a pain, right? To go about doing it one after the other. So we realize that, oops, this is not correct. I wish I could zoom this actually, you know what? Open image in new tab. And let me zoom this. Okay, do you see the screen, team? When a user logs in as an institute admin, you will notice this. This was how when we started. Now how does it look when I log in? Just let's see. There is so much to learn, team, but after this foundation, everything should be actually easy to learn. This is the same administrator. This is the same things, but there's subtle difference. Do you see? Notification, courses, trainers, trainees, edit profile, log out. How is it here? Let me open this like this. Notification, courses, trainers, trainees, invite trainee. Oh, new feature. And we're looking at trainees, right? So I go to trainees out here, and this is how the add trainee looks here. How does the add trainee look here? Almost same, but there's some more red text, and this create or cancel button has come, and then this checkbox has come, and then we have the edit profile contact as logout has moved up on the top right. So it doesn't have to keep repeating out here. So this is the evolution of a product team. We start with something in mind as the first release, and then we keep going and keep adding slowly eventually. Now, the next version which is coming is not even close to this, because we are going about developing a much more advanced application. I don't think I have access to it right now, but I'll show it to you later. This is good enough, the live version, for us to evaluate. If you want to practice, it's very simple. At the moment, if your old account is not working, create with a new account, with a new email address. Take some dummy things. Take some of your friends' email addresses or your families, add them as trainees, and you can test it. All right. But focus with me. I will give you the tasks and only do those tasks. Till then, don't do anything. So once the setup is done, when we add trainees, the trainer can log in and send a message, admin or trainer. What is a message? Very simple. It's just exactly like how we do an email. Very similar concept. We want to send an email. So I click on send new notification. The primary difference is I am able to send an email to a group. So right now for this course, for example, AACT 7 hours free certified online training, I requested all of you to register, remember? And we have 281 of you registering so far from this live session. All right. The others have not yet. So here, if I send a message, number one is I can send it as a group. Number two is updates and maybe to do, and I want to put like exercise, and I'll say it's a test team. How many of you in the audience already have Interact installed both on your, email you'll get it automatically, but on your mobile devices, please? And who are registered here? That's it. And I say save this. Okay. Now this is in a draft status. What I do is I click here and I say broadcast this. The minute I say broadcast, it will start to broadcast, and successfully published means the message is going out. And if you have a mobile app, it should start pinging. Let me know how many of you have received a ping, like an alert on your cell phone. So Interact as an application not only is sending a notification to the email, it also adds a category to it where the user can see that by looking at it, that this is an exercise, then there's a to do, and there's an update, and so on. And as I scroll down, you'll also see that it goes to the email, it goes on a smartphone, be it Android or iPhone, and you can also log into the web browser and check with your credentials. And I'm hearing from the team that they got it. They got a ping on the cell phones and they're able to go and see that message. So that is the application team. So quick one-way communication. It's a broadcast like a radio. Understand, team? It is very critical for us to keep hearing from a trainer regularly. So now that you're registered and you're getting it, I will keep sending them. That is the functionality. Clear, everyone? High level, not the detail, depth of everything. Like a pager. Perfect, Anita. Exactly. It's like a pager. You can reply back to me, but then it will go to the learn@itlearn.com email address. All right, great. So it goes to your email, your smartphone. You can also log into interact.com/app and check it there. Simple, neat application. We started this somewhere in Jan and Feb of last year, and we kept adding to it slowly. And it's not that we've deployed a team of 10 people to it. Only 1 or 2 developers working intermittently. So we went in a very slow, agile manner to make sure that all defects are being taken care. The current version is going to be much more better. Now, most of you are trainees, correct? You will be logging in as a trainee. I don't think I have anything. But this invite trainee is one of the things that I showed you yesterday. How can we invite you? So I select a course and I say generate link and I copy to clipboard, and each of you have written some test case for it, a simple one in a notepad, correct? Now let's look at the test case that we wrote in the notepad and see what is the problem with that. It will be there in that. So this, let me save first. Let's open the data notes. I wrote it somewhere here. Where did I write? This is the ATM thing. I didn't write the steps for this, right? So let's quickly write the same test case team. It's not about which one we're doing right now. It is more to do with this. So this is Interact test case. I'm going to write this. Guide me with the options, please. First step is open the website. Second, login as an admin. Third is, login as admin is what? It's got steps, right? Login as admin It's got few steps. So enter admin username, enter admin password, enter admin, no, click login. Then I want to ensure, check or confirm login has happened. If not, it's gonna, and you didn't log in, there's no point. Click invite trainees. Select, click and select the course. Then click on generate link. Click on copy to clipboard. And finally what, team? Share the link. Click on log out. Now what was the thumb rule, team? And look at how much emphasis I'm giving to writing the most importantly the test case. We're spending a lot of time on this. This is extremely important. Alright. Once you master this, you can become a brilliant QA engineer. If you don't do this, you're going to be stuck. Absolutely stuck. So what was the golden rule for writing your own test case? Even a robot should be able to execute. Remember that a robot has no artificial intelligence, or even, what was Y? Forgot what I wrote here. My own coined term that was, so you remember? Original, okay. Alright, original intelligence. Alright. Even a 9-year-old can produce it. There should be no reason for any questions back to us. Now, how many of you tried to explain this and what are the questions they asked? They will ask very simple questions. Which website? Right? They will ask what is the username? And so on. Now, I will not write it here and I'll tell you because the format is looking so bad, team. A better way to do it is do it in an Excel file. And you'll notice that once you start working in Excel file, there is a lot of information that we could put there. So I'm going to kind of zoom this up and all the steps that are here, I'm going to copy to you. And I will put it here. These are the steps now. Now, it requires some information, correct, team? What is that information? It requires some data. And it should be exact data. http://interact.com/app. Is this correct? Then enter admin username. I'll just say learn@itelearn.com. Enter admin password. I'll say I don't remember, but I'll put some number here. At least in my system, there's an auto login. Does click login require any additional information? It does not, right? So I'll just say there's no information required. Okay, by the way, what is this column? And what is this column? This is not the right way to do, team. We have to be more effective. It should be easy. Thumb rule is anyone should be able to easily understand. So why don't we put a column name here? These are the test steps. And these are the test data that we want to use to test these steps. And since these are headers, I will give them a different color. Okay. And this, let's put a little gray. It should look pretty, team, end of the day. The importance of aesthetics is so critical. Remember this. So critical, team. It should look brilliant. It should look classy. The reason it is important is people have no time in today's world. Though I can create the best user experience on a phone inside, right? And most powerful thing, if it looks ugly from the outside, sales will really be poor. So everything that you do should be very neat and clear. Fair enough, team? So which is my first step? How do I count? How many steps are there? Are there totally 12 steps here? Don't jump, team. We'll come to it. There are 12, right? See, the count is 12 here. Oh, yeah, there are only 11. Why? Maybe I'll put one here, another column, and say step number. Okay, and let me keep saving this as we keep going along. In the AACT, where am I saving this? AACT. They're on my desktop for now. Desktop, AACT 7 hours free training. This is interrupt test case, right? Test case. Okay. So I need step number. So I'll say 1, 2. I'm lazy, so I'll do a formula. This equals above 1 plus 1. Hit enter. Copy this and paste it here. These are the small things we need to really learn when using Microsoft Excel. There are a bunch of videos team on IT-Learn. You can watch the MS Office videos. You will find some basic videos on MS Excel for free. You should watch them. It will give you some practice. So, okay, this looks okay now. Confirm login. How do we confirm login? There's no test data for it. But I have to confirm login, right? So there's I'm expecting something to be there. Let's go back to this application. Whenever in question, go back to your application team. Let's say I log out first. And I'll log in. So we have done the open, enter username, click login. How do we confirm login? Page options, but something specifically which says that I have logged in. I am the administrator. So what about if this shows up, administrator? Ensure that the new page shows the text. You can also say that I want to check if this logo is there, this is there, here this icon logo, the logout button is there, multiple ways. Now, where should I put this? In which column? What should I write as a column name team? Everything that I do, I want it very well presented. Okay, so we expected state, or I'll say expected result. A user performs an operation and we expect something to happen. Okay, what do we expect to happen here? Website has opened. Correct. What is this? Should be able to enter. Here I'll say should be able to enter, same thing, but hidden with an asterisk like this. Correct. So this is an expected result. Should be able to click. So this is kind of repetitive. I'm not writing it, but you know it. Okay, confirm login is so no data. Click invite trainees, no data, right? Click and select the course. Do we need data here? Which course should I select? Your kid is going to ask the team. Always remember, someone who the intent is very simple. Go back to the thumb rule. When you send this to anyone across the globe, they should be able to easily understand. There should be no questions coming back. So which course team? There are so many courses. It's AAT 7 hours free certified online training. Long word, but I have to put it correctly. 7 hours free online training. Click on generate link. Okay, no data here. Click on copy to clipboard. Fair enough. Share the link wherever user wishes to. Click on logout. Perfect. Ensure user has logged out. You know, I'm lost a little bit, team. Why are we even doing all this? What is the intent? Good that some of you are observing something that I did, because, and I'm honestly not lost. I'm just trying to get your attention to why we are doing all this activity. Okay. To write a test case, is it? Okay, so why are we writing a test case? Team, if you notice there's spell error, there's a reason, and I'll tell you why. I don't make I rarely try and commit to making errors because I try and focus and do it correctly. Like you're looking at this, right? I've done it deliberately. It's by intent. We're trying to write a test case so that we can test it. I want to know if this functionality is working or not. I want to see if this test is a pass or not. So what is the result of this? When does a test case pass? When every step in that test case will pass. So if this is a pass all the way through, then my test case has passed. Right? Let's say I put all of this as green because it's a pass. Just highlighting it as green, not text background. Okay. One of them, this one. Let's see. By default, what is it? And so on. Now, let us execute this test case. How are we doing it, team? Who is going to execute this test case? Testers. No, I am human. We are doing it. Anyone can do it. It's not just testers, developers, business users, everyone. Right now, I am going to execute it. So here is my test case. Here is my application. I'm going to look at this and follow the operations like not as Karthik. I'll imagine I am a child. Okay, so open the website. Yeah, pass. Okay, good. It opened. Okay. Enter admin username. It's already there. Good. Let's see if it will work. Enter admin password. Okay, good. This is also in the star. Oh, nice. Is it star? No, it failed. This failed, team. It's red. You know why it failed? Why am I putting it as a fail? Number one, I'm testing because I'm a kid, like a kid. Okay. Number two, I wrote here that it should be star. But what is there? This dot. You don't decide if it's a defect or not. You have to report it. That is your duty. That's it. It has to be that precise. Clear, everyone? So set fail. Then they will ask the reason. Okay. Error details. What is the error? So we have to write that here. Let's say it is showing dot instead of a star. Let me ask you a question, team, to everyone. Just say yes or no. Do you think I prepare before I come to these trainings or I don't? Just a yes or no question. And I deliberately plan that this is what I'll do. Habitual, but yes, I don't prepare. Okay. But I do mental preparation. I visualize it. Today, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to develop something. All right. I'm okay, team. I'm a pro on this because I did it 1,000 times every day, little by little, little by little, little by little. Okay. Now let's continue with this execution. Who is testing? A kid, someone who can really understand. Right now, I'm trying to be that kid and do that. Next step is what? Click login. Okay, cool. Let me click login. Confirm login. Ensure that administrator is there. Is this there? Yes, it's there. Eureka. It's good. Pass. Then click on invite trainees. Where is it? Invite trainees is not there here. I don't see invite trainees. Do you see invite trainees, team? No. Good job. None of you seeing it. You're seeing invite trainee. This is again a fail. Do you understand that even that simple logic, that spell errors, is important? The developer may come back and say that, boss, this is not serious. Come on, you're being kiddish. It is not that a big problem. It looks a small error. Why are you reporting in red? Okay, I will put another column here and I'll say severity. Low. It is not affecting the operations. This is medium because you have to give correct instructions, team. The step itself may not happen. So this is important, especially when it comes to automation. So I'm not changing anything. And the reason we know, did not find link. Now what will happen, team, next? What will happen next? Who's doing this? A kid is doing this. They didn't find invite trainee. Will they be able to click and select the course? Can't proceed. Exactly. So this is not executed anymore. You assuming that, you know what, that's fine, let's go on now, is different. But the right thing to do is this, what we just did. Fair enough? You don't be the decision maker on what should be there. Let the system decide. Now, let us say we fix those things. So this is one run team, one execution. So I saved it as interrupt test case and I will call this as executed by KKK. I'll say what Y triple K later at 7:28 on 3rd March. Oops, a lot of work, right? For a small testing, so much of planning and so on doesn't look nice. For the same thing, let's say we go back and we do it. Now, save this as 7:20. Okay, let's clean it up, then we'll save, okay? So, one, this is hidden, so I'll remove this, okay? Now, again, by default, I'll just say not executed. That's the default for everything to start with. Then we'll change it. Should be hidden with a dot. Then click on invite trainees. No, trainee. Now there's a question. In fact, do you think this should be invite trainee or invite trainees? You're going to invite multiple trainees, correct? So looks like it's a suggestion that we should give to the team that, hey, I think you should relook into it. Invite trainees looks to be fine. So you can also add some notes. There is no standard template called test case that is used across the world. It is always customized to the project by the individual, but it still has to follow the thumb rule. And in the notes, I'll just say suggestion. Actually, I'll just say suggestion, not even notes. It's called suggestion. Invite trainees seems to be more apt. How much time am I spent in writing this test case? And not that I'm doing it slowly, right? I'm doing it quickly. I'm typing fast. That's an effort, team. But that is how beautiful applications are built. If we don't do all this, it's not going to happen. All right. Okay. So now let's go about executing the same thing. We've come till here, invite trainee, and then click on course. Look for that AACT 7 hours free as 3 is and so on. Correct. So this is again a problem. And you go back. Not even one test is done. Why? It is not ready for testing yet. Unable to test will come up. So I just have to say this is pass. And the whole thing, let's say, is a pass. Oof. All right. And paste it here. Now let's write one more test case, team, very quickly. I'll say, where do I put what is the name of this test case, team? Should have some name, no? Interrupt test case. Is it login test? Module. Interrupt what? Give a name to it, team. All the steps, put it under one name. Interrupt test case. You can name it more like I can say test case 001, right? That just looks like that. How about I make it more deliberate? Let's say interact underscore tc underscore invite trainees underscore 1. Why am I doing this, team? So that anyone looking at it can easily figure out that this is interact test case invite trainees, the first test case in it. It is long, absolutely, but it has no questions that will come up again. So out here we insert one more thing, and so this is a test case. Come on. This is a test case name. Now, is this correct, team? Rather, it's a test case ID. TC ID we call it. Why do we call it as test case ID? It is not looking like a name. It is looking like a code. Something like an identification. Is this the only way to do it? Not necessarily. It can be IF underscore TC001. It can be draft underscore TC underscore admin module underscore invite trainees underscore 1. The word certified is missing, is it? Okay, thank you. I don't know what exact name is. This is a long name. This is even longer. AACT 7 hours free certified online training. Then there's uppercase and so on. Free certified online training. Okay. Now, are these all for the same test case, team? Then copy this and put it here. Don't just ignore. Please never do that. Alright? Never leave fields blank in an Excel sheet. If there's nothing there, just put a hyphen. Okay? Nothing is here, then put a hyphen. But just by leaving it blank does not tell us if was it an accident or we don't want someone to assume. So wherever you want, right now this won't matter. Let's save this as a different run. On 3rd March, this is at what? 7:34. How quickly can we create another test case? Simple one. Let's say something like forgot password. Okay. What are the steps? Let's look at it. Go to the website, click on forgot password, enter the email address, click on recover password. Fair enough? A different one totally. So how do we do it? Hey, this I can copy, right? Copy, paste. Cool. So this is not invite trainees anymore. This is more of user access. And I should also put a name here, guys. Insert TC name. This is invite trainees by admin. Here I'll say forgot password for any user. It could be anyone. Right? We'll come to modules and all that little later should be. Slowly we want to develop this, not everything on the same day. Okay. Okay, invite training. So the same thing, I have to copy and say all this is this. And then forgot password. I'll just put all of this. This is one. How many steps we have? We'll see. 2, click on forgot password. 3, enter email. 4, click recover password. So for those of you who don't have this access and so on, do this team. This is how you get it. And you should be a good user of applications if you want to be a good tester. Always remember that. The better you are in your own analytics, then the better it is. What happens if you enter a random password .com and say recover password? Email doesn't exist. Oh, so it's learn at itlearn.com. and say recover password. Recovery instructions have been sent to your email ID. Okay. Oops, copy it. Verify alert message 6. Close browser. Alright, so this is one variation. Now the same thing, if I do it for an incorrect username, how do I do it? I copy everything, enter invalid email, click recover the password, verify alert message which says email doesn't exist. So this is the test date actually. Email doesn't exist. And here it is recovery instructions are sent. I'm not writing the whole thing. Okay. Click enter email. Here I entered learn@itlearn.com. Here I entered some blah 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 at blah blah blah.com. So new test case is ready. Is this executed? No, right? So this whole new thing is not executed. So we'll just change it. Is it the same past test case ID? Oh no, from here it's a different one. So let's change it to copy, paste this. Oops. Control V and for invalid user. Now, can you tell me how many test cases do we need to write for this application called Interact? And I'm not able to see this test cases clearly, so I'll just put some color out here. Let me zoom back a little bit so I see. How many test cases may be there, team? Not how many we wrote, team. How many might be there eventually before we launch, we can test before we launch it. Hundreds. How many? I'm saying give me a number. You don't have to be right or wrong, but you have to give a number. What is your take? 10, 20, 100, 500, around 500. If someone asks me, right, I'll say about maybe 700, 750. When someone says, give me an exact number, I'll say, okay, 748. There you go. I won't argue saying that, how can I give a number and so on. They asked for a number, I gave. If they ask, how did you come up with the number? Looking at the size, my experience in the past, and so on, that's what I believe. You asked for a specific number, I gave you a number. That's it. All right. Okay, let's do this. See how much time I'm spending in the aesthetics, because that is important, everyone. Okay, now what are we doing? Let's go back and see. Here is where we're going to get into automation now. We'll start talking about automation. So in terms of the topics that we wanted to cover, team, this is done. This from a test data, test cases is done. Test plan and use cases, not really, but it will keep coming as we go along. Understanding defects, yes. Defect tracking, no. Defect life cycle, not yet. Traceability matrix, not yet. We'll come to these concepts. And always remember, team, I'm not teaching you to be. So what is the core intent of this entire training? What is the one main intent? There's only one answer to it, team. What is the core intent of this entire training, guys? For you to be an NEOT certified tester. That is it. Okay. Not Selenium expert, not manual testing expert. That is the core intent of this. All right. But whatever we need to know to get there is what we are going through. So my duty is to enable you with the right skill on that. Understand functional regression testing, UI testing for web apps. Okay, we'll come to this as well. Okay. Now, building a more robust Excel template to store test cases. Okay, cool. So that we've covered. This one we've covered. Maybe we'll be able to do this also if time permits. I have 20 more minutes, but let's see. Okay, this is an interesting diagram. Let's use this as a backdrop. What is functional testing, team? How can you say what is it? Simplest layman's definition is should function. That's it. Features should be working. Let's say you go and try and buy a Bluetooth speaker. Alright. It should have the basic features. The power button should be there, it should get on, sound should come, I should be able to connect to it remotely, the device should be able to connect, all of those things. But is it that simple? No, but we'll have to do it on so many things. We have to ensure that 700 of these scenarios are tested. So basic functionality is there. When it comes to UI/UX testing, we focus more on how does it look. Alright. When I talk about performance testing, we talk about how much can it handle. Right? UX is user experience, team. UI is user interface. The difference between UI and user interface is UI is look and feel of an app. When I say app, team, it could be web app, mobile app, cloud app, whatever. UX is user's experience rating. Alright. Now let's say I make a beautiful looking website. Looks amazing. User interface is good. But the user is not experiencing too much difficulty. Some steps are unneeded. Some things look stupid. The user experience is bad there. Alright. So the speaker that you're buying, the Bluetooth speaker, should look good. You want it to look good. But maybe that's not a big criteria for you. Is it giving the sound? Is it connecting? You have some basic main requirements. But from a design and product perspective, business owners always want to have something that looks good as well. Because you want to show it off in your home. How much can it handle is how much volume can it do? If I drop it by accident, will it break? If I connect with two devices, or no, that's not performance testing. What else can be there? Performance testing. If I drop it in water, what can happen? Okay. If it is playing continuously for 20 hours, what will happen? So we're trying to test and see where will it break? What is the load that it can take? What is the stress that it can take? So that becomes your performance. And then there are a lot of other testing team, back-end testing, front-end testing, and so on. But there's one thing called regression testing. What is regression testing? Can someone tell me very simply what it is? What is regression testing? In this, the re-word is very important. It is but nothing but repeating tests regularly. Why? Let's go back to this diagram. Version 1 is there. Let's assume this is version 1.1 only, not version 2. Okay. Let me take a different color. So here we made some changes, correct, to it. We deleted some functionality, we added some, we edited some, we added some new functionality. Right, everyone? So now, how can I release it to market? What should I do before I release it to market? I should test it. What should I test in? I should definitely make sure that this is gone. Yes. I should also make sure that the edited change functionality is also working. And I will also make sure that the new functionality is working. Correct? Is that true? So in this case, let's say we gave a suggestion, click invite trainees. It should be invite trainees, and they made a change. The developer will say that I changed it. Karthik, take a look. We go back, retest it. I'll say perfect, good job, right? But while doing that, the developer accidentally deleted one of the other things. Accidentally. Okay, they opened the code. Humans tend to make error, so we'll need to figure that out. Oops, I recovered and then it's changed. Who changed it? I don't know if my team changed it. Alright, so let's say they break up something here. The forgot password is gone, for example. Accidentally. What will happen? You released it. And then you notice that the main concept of login or forgot password is not working. Then you go back and say, oh man, how did this happen? And look at it and so on. As a tester, not only we have to look at the deleted or changed or added new functionality and features, we should test the whole thing again. So there's a lot of repetition. That is your regression testing team. Okay. And your Selenium, your HPUFT or what was called as qtp are used for functional regression automation. All right. And this will set. So do you see how we are building it up, team, slowly? We started with something very basic, and then this huge Excel has come and the concepts are coming in slowly. But a strong foundation is going to get laid with this. Now, very, very interesting team from today onwards. How do we teach these tools? Automation. That is the most key point. We have to become a great teacher because we want a system, a robot, a tool to learn and do. Okay. Now, what is the simplest forms of automation that we see in our daily world? What do we see, team? Integration testing, team, is primarily, I'll explain what it is in a very neat manner, so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, lot of times the applications talk to either other applications or modules within the same application. So this one here has to talk to this module. They have to talk to each other. There is some kind of an integration between them, or there's another application that it is linked with, and we have to look at how it is working with that application in connection. So that becomes integration testing. Okay, there's system testing, there's browser based testing, there's device testing, and so on. So we're not getting into the definitions right now. Our scope will be functional regression testing team. That will be our scope of what we're going to learn. All right. So if I have to teach this, there should be some kind of a specific way. What do I want to teach? Primarily, what is automation in real world? Let's look at it. A car to manufacture early year was taking about 6 months, maybe 50, 60 years back, or maybe more. But today they can do it in 1 week. How? They've automated the manufacturing plant with robots, with human supervision, and automated lines of assembly and so on. So they have achieved something. Of course, building that factory was not cheap. A lot of money and research went into it to do it, but they did it. There are 3 fundamental thumb rules, team. Remember this always. And I called it as ERA. What do they stand for? Anyone of you know this? First one is efficiency. Second one is reusability. Third one, and very critical, is accuracy. What do I mean by thumb rules? Should be faster than manual process. Number one, should use lesser resources. Resources could be like power, energy, and so on. All right. And should be cheaper in a longer run. What is reusability? Repeat the same process over and over again. Now, you know how expensive it is to launch a rocket, correct? Be it by NASA or by ISRO or by even SpaceX, correct? Because the reusability of a lot of things is very low. That's why that's expensive. But we can't build a factory and say, I'll only produce one car, right? Ferrari might come and say, I'm going to give 100 special edition supercars for the rich few. Then they invest money, but then the buyer is actually paying for all that. But they're only going to produce 100. That's the sales strategy. So they have to repeat. As much repeat they can do, that much better. Accuracy should have a higher accuracy than a human. These are three thumb rules, team. Sometimes you want more efficiency than reusability. Sometimes accuracy is most critical even though we don't do efficiency and so on. So these are like three bars in a graph. So they have to go high up, low, down, and so on. And a combination of these things makes all the point of should we automate or not. When we look at automation, this is what are the thumb rules for achieving it. Now, if I can teach a human to do this, fair enough. What is the problem in repeating? Whenever I do one regression test, not only do I have to test this, I have to test another 700 test cases again. We don't know what could have broken. Maybe I'll do it faster this time and try and do only some of the most important functionality because time is always a constraint. We have to release. They gave you only 2 weeks to test before it can be deployed. And if major changes happen, then it has to again go through development back and come back to us. Right? So this is a very critical process, team, regression testing. And it has to be done very quickly. So there's a lot of tendency when you're trying to do a regression test manually that speed is important. I have to do it fast. And when you focus on speed and the fact that I have to do it, what will happen? You tend to make errors, mistakes, human things. So regression testing, speed is critical. Manual errors can shoot up, and this is usually under very tight timelines, and that is a problem. And hence automation of regression testing is critical. Let me take a break here and just check. Do I have everyone with you so far? With me so far? Any one of you in the audience who's feeling that I am lost? And it is absolutely fine, team, to be lost. And I want to see this because if I'm not doing it for this large audience of 350 plus right now, then it is a great test for my own teaching skill and also for the benefit of the NEOT program. If I'm going fast, slow, the one thing I'm not doing is answer questions that I'm unable to see for some reason, or it is something not relevant right now. Okay. Only at last one, someone said that, thank you. And then someone also told me, I think, who was this? Yes, okay, generally. I'm here, not lost. Okay. Oh no, don't worry. The hand raises I'm not seeing. Okay, so the regression testing is very simple, team. You'll get the concept more of it as we go along. So it is primarily how do we go about performing repeated tests when speed is critical. Humans tend to make errors and we have tight timelines. We have to find a better solution, that is automation testing. Now, human can do this. Look at it. A 9-year-old can do this, team. A 20-year-old and a 60-year-old also can do this. Maybe even a 70-year-old. Because it is very clear. Exactly what we want is all here, right? But if I give the same sheet to a tool, will it be able to do? Team, messages do disturb me for a fraction of a second. Yes, someone was asking the question, so I'm answering. Because I have to look at it, then I have to see if it's relevant or not. And with a large audience, a little bit. Okay, thank you. No problem. No apologies on that. I don't think it'll be able to do, team. Why then? What does it require to know? Very simple, team. All that automation tools require are clear instructions. There's no artificial intelligence or a required intelligence over a period of time. Your Google Home, I don't know how many of you have seen Google Home or what was that? Alexa from Amazon, the small devices that tend to get smarter as you use them, right? And I've just bought a Google Home like 10 days back and it is acting funny with me. So I ask it to tell a joke and it'll say, okay, Karthik, here you go, here's a joke for you. And I say, it's a bad joke. I'll try and be better next time. It's trying to understand, but still a device. There's no human intelligence there. There's a methodology that they follow. The only two questions when I tell a tool to do something, what do you want me to do? And you have to say where you want me to do that. Now, very simple team. If I tell you as a friend of mine, hey, listen, can you go and bring my bag from my car? Is that enough instruction for you as a human? Yes, right? If the same thing I say that to not a friend, some new, a mechanic, then I'll say, can you please take my bag out of that car? He'll say, which car? Oh, that red one. Okay, what color is the bag? The black bag. I have to be more clear, right? As the distance between the relationship of those two parties is increasing, the clarity of instructions become critical. If I have to tell this to a tool which has no intelligence, what should I say? Can you go to my car? First question is, how do I recognize your car, Karthik? If I say red car, it'll say, I see 20 red cars in the whole parking. I'm showing my finger, I cannot see you, Karthik. Then I'll say, okay, here's my car number. It'll say, thank you. Your vehicle identification number or license plate number is this. Okay, it'll go there. Then I'll say, get the car. Get the bag. How do I get the bag? I have to say, open the door. It'll say, which door? Then you say front door. It'll open the front door and check in the seat. I'll say, which seat? Do you understand, team? Now, if this is a process of someone going and getting my bag on a daily basis, it is okay. I mean, human will get tired. If I teach a robot finally once, it'll keep on doing it for me over and over again. I'll say, okay, Google, go get my bag. Done. But it'll take time for it to understand and get the clarity. In these web applications, if I tell these simple instructions, like even the login, where I say open the website, it will say which website. It will also ask you which browser. I am using Chrome, but it has choices. An automation tool will ask you that. Team, I'll take another 2-3 minutes and then tomorrow we'll continue. Okay. Enter admin username. Okay, what is the admin username? I provided. Where is that? A human is able to see where it is. This robot cannot see. So it says I need to identify these objects. This is called object identification or element identification. This is called the what do I say, action or method, or what happens in Selenium ID? Command, something like that. Okay, this is the command that we're giving to it. Now you will become a great automation test engineer if you master the art of object identification. And this, you have to learn the language of the tool. Communication between human and the automation tool is critical. Then you will achieve the ERA. Makes sense, everyone? That is the time when we achieve the results. So when we come back tomorrow, we're going to look at how we can relate with them, how the command should be there presented clearly, and we can look at some of these other topics. Okay, a long 90 minutes non-stop talk, and I didn't even give you any exercises today, but this was critical for us to do. When I do this tomorrow, I will be able to give you some more exercises. HP UFT team, I have not yet installed on this machine, and this machine I have already installed the trial version. I don't think it will let me do it. So I'll need to get a new machine and do it. I'll do this day after. Okay. Once you learn one automation tool, the basic fundamentals, learning the other is very simple. So tomorrow we will do more with Selenium because it's an open source and it's easy to do it, access. And then I'll show you how to do on UFT. Finally, once we do, we will say, okay, automation is there, but there should be levels of automation, right? Simple automation, brilliant automation. Automation to the level of, why am I forgetting the Marvel, the guy, Iron Man, right? You know Iron Man? The way his home gets automated when he walks in, how things start talking to him and so on. That's a supreme level of automation. And these automation frameworks take us in that direction too. It's like a larger, each level is increasing there. Then we'll talk about, and you'll understand what is robot framework. One of the questions that I got asked is what was the inspiration for building this at the beginning? I think Bella or someone, I'm not sure, sorry. This was one of the inspiration team. And then we will understand what is Neon. And finally, these are the ones. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Most welcome. I'm glad that we're able to do this and going in the right direction, I hope. Any questions? Keep me posted. Take care all. Bye then.